Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Monday night. I'm Jay Cohn.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. A fire burning south of Roundup in the Bull Mountains burns 2 homes and forces evacuations.
Now, those evacuations have just been lifted within the past hour. Nearly 20 residents in the Johnny's Coal Road area where the fire is burning, though, are being allowed back into their homes but are asked to keep a constant eye on what could be changing conditions.
Q2's Samantha Harrelson was on scene today to bring us the very latest. Samantha.
Jay and Jeanelle, I just got off the phone with the Deputy DES Director Floyd Fisher in Roundup. He tells me the evacuations have been lifted and the firefighters have a dozer line around the fire's perimeter at this time. Despite making some progress this afternoon, the fire is still considered to be 0% contained. The fire was called in last night around 8:30 p.m. and grew to about 600 acres. The Lazy R fire burned 2 structures in the Bull Mountain area, one a primary residence, the other a hunting cabin. Fire crews from surrounding departments as well as the DNRC and BLM crews are out fighting this fire, which was made worse by high winds.
In those cases, there's nothing you can really do other than try and get people to a safe spot and protect them, protect maybe some of the structures if they're able to be protected, but mainly so nobody gets hurt. And we can replace grass and timber, but we can't replace lives.
Now, when I was talking with Fisher, he told me the winds in the area are now down to 5 to 10 miles an hour, which has been a big help this afternoon. Unfortunately, Bob says they're lucky because high winds are expected to continue in the area throughout much of the week. The cause of the Lazy R fire is still under investigation. Jay and Jeanelle.
Thanks, Sammy.
Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire joining us now. Bob, those howling winds, a big concern along the fire lines, and it looks like it's going to be windy for much of this week.
Guys, we had it all weekend long, the high winds, and now it's going to die down a little bit tonight. That's the good news, but we are expecting to step up again. Here's our wind forecast. As you can see, Wednesday morning, here's what's going to happen. Winds will be gusting to 20 to 30 miles per hour, 26 in Billings, 30 miles per hour to Livingston by 3:30 in the afternoon. That's when a new cold front moves through on Wednesday, so watch what's going to happen because of that. We have a fire weather watch for much of south central Montana. That's the area highlighted in the light tan. What we have there is basically 50-mile-per-hour winds along with that new cold front and low humidities because it's going to warm up into the 70s before we get that cold front. So that'll dry out the air. And then here comes your new cold front, and that'll create the gusty winds. And so that causes the possibility of real bad fire danger across the region. Also, we have a high wind watch for basically Stillwater County, also Sweetgrass, and all the way up towards parts of Wheatland County. So very gusty winds the rest of the week, right on at least through midweek, and then the wind takes a hiatus on Thursday and Friday, and it finally calms down. We'll have more in the forecast in a few more minutes, guys.
All right, thanks so much, Bob.
Well, speaking of wildfires, a group of Republican senators are out with a draft bill that hopes to simplify forest management to help mitigate wildfires.
Montana Senator Steve Daines and Wyoming Senator John Barrasso joined several others in backing the Wildfire Prevention and Mitigation Act of 2017. The crux of this bill discourages litigation against the Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management. It claims it would enhance forest management to reduce the severity of wildfires.
Now, the bill would allow forest thinning and establish an arbitration process for any forest activity disputes that are not subject to judicial review. That bill has its first legislative hearing set for this Wednesday.
The investigation into a shooting on the Billings North Side early today comes to a standstill.
Billings Police Chief Rich St. John says the victim, a 35-year-old man, will not cooperate with authorities. Police were called to the 900 block of North 19th Street just before 2 a.m. this morning for reports of shots fired. That's where officers found a man with a gunshot wound in his back.
The man was conscious when he was transported to the hospital, but his current condition is unknown. St. John says because the victim will not cooperate, the suspect's identity is also unknown.
Meanwhile, the suspect in a Billings home invasion and stabbing over the weekend is still at large tonight.
Police say they have yet to identify the person who entered a home on the 500 block of Avenue B around 4 a.m. Saturday. The suspect demanded property before attacking 2 people in the home. One victim suffered serious stab wounds.
Now, the suspect fled before police arrived. At last word, the victim remains hospitalized in what police are calling stable condition.
The man shot by Billings police at the Lazy KT Motel last week is a Billings resident in his early to mid-30s.
Chief Rich St. John released new details about the man shot by 2 officers on Wednesday after the man allegedly swung a shotgun towards police officers. St. John's still not releasing the man's name, but he did tell us the man is no stranger to police and has a criminal history.
Officers Matt Edwards and Jeremiah Adams remain on paid leave. The man is still in the hospital. So far, no charges have been filed.
A Billings woman allegedly had her 4 young children in the vehicle with her when she ran over their father, who was fleeing on his bicycle.
Q2's Asia Gore paged through the charging documents filed today and joins us now with details. Asia.
Jay and Jeanelle, the suspect told officers she's an employee of the Yellowstone County Detention Facility, which is where she is today as an inmate. 23-year-old Emily Enick made her initial appearance in Yellowstone County Justice Court this afternoon, charged with felony assault with a weapon. An officer was driving behind Enick outside the police evidence barn on Midland Road Friday when Enick's vehicle ran over a bicyclist. An ambulance was called and the officer stopped Enick, who had her 4 children in the vehicle. The oldest child, age 4, told the officer her mother crashed into her father. The girl said her parents had been fighting and her mom was, quote, more mad than her dad. The victim, who suffered road rash, said he left the house after a fight with Enick and said she chased him down. Enick allegedly admitted to the crime. She's being held tonight at the jail without bond. Jay and Jeanelle.
All right, thanks, Asia.
It was a season of fires, floods, and hurricanes, and through it all, one Missoula Red Cross volunteer was there.
Tony Taylor was the only one from Montana to deploy to the scene of the Las Vegas shooting massacre, a response where all of her years of experience were put to the test. Tonight, MTN's Jill Valley brings us her story.
Moments after the shooting stopped the night of October 1st, the Red Cross knew it needed its best to help those hurt in the worst mass shooting in recent U.S. history. And that is how Missoula's Tony Taylor found herself in Las Vegas.
This was not where you could call up and say, hey, I want to go to Vegas. We were hand-selected by national headquarters to go on this operation.
Around her neck, the pins of the places she's been. From hurricanes in the south to floods in California, the fires here in Montana. But this was different.
You know, when it comes to a hurricane or a tornado or even a flood, you can rebuild. But what we saw in Las Vegas, we saw so many people who were shattered, so many people who lost loved ones.
And Tony heard story after story of the fear and the panic and the pain and suffering that extended beyond those concert grounds.
It was the people waiting on the street corner to get a bus that were caught in this mass pandemonium of people running and being trampled. It was people who were having dinner at Denny's. It was people who worked at the Mandalay who heard the shooting and didn't want to leave.
In Vegas, she helped the wounded find wheelchairs, crutches, specialized beds. She's a disability and integration specialist, among other things, which is something fairly new to the Red Cross.
Ideally, what we want is for disability integration to be in each state for when they have a disaster, whether it's a house fire or flooding, that they can go and get these things for these folks to replace it.
Tony is home now, finally, and she is ready for the next deployment, where her special brand of compassion, caring, and expertise will be on call again. But her Vegas experience is one that will stay with her.
My thought at the end of the day is, what could I have done better? Who could I have helped more? But I know that giving the operation over to the local chapter, that the work that I did will continue, and that helps me get through the day, knowing that I helped those folks.
In Missoula, Jill Valley, MTN News.
Thanks, Jill. And Tony says besides the medical, emotional, and spiritual support, the Red Cross also helps victims financially.
And she says Red Cross volunteers are needed in Montana. You can go to redcross.org to learn more.
Still to come on the Q2 530 News this Monday night during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, one Billings woman tells us about her unique way to remember to schedule her mammogram. And in sports, Scott shows us what dragon boating is and why this Bozeman team is garnering worldwide attention.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire and sports with Scott Green. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.